CompanyCam started because of problems that I was having in roofing, at White Castle Roofing. You got guys like Jason Williams up there that, you send them out to take photos and they just don't know the front of the house from the back of the house, from landmarks, from timber lines. And when you're trying to bid a job, you're trying to put things together, you want to do things right, you need that documentation so that you can put your bid together, so you can order the right materials, so you get the right color of gutter apron, so you're not putting brown gutter apron with charcoal shingles and the whole series of problems. I'm making fun of Jason. He's actually like the best in the world at that. He takes better notes than anyone in history. As you can see here, one of these guys took a stupid photo of me. But we were just having a heck of a time getting that information, getting it through the company so that we could do things well. And I kept thinking, there's got to be a better way to do this. We're all carrying around these supercomputers in our pocket that have GPS attached to them, camera, and all that. And so we built CompanyCam. And the premise behind CompanyCam is that we use the GPS on your phone to connect your photos to the right job site address so that when your guys are out in the field snapping photos, they don't have to think much beyond just confirming that they're standing where they're standing. And then once you take those photos, they are all going to flow in on the computer at the office immediately in real time. So for example, right now, we're here, they're taking photos at the event. So there's a photo of me, and you can see up here, this is at this address, 13211 Chandler Road. I think that's the address here. Dusty took this photo, and he took it this morning at 9:22 a.m. So when you take a photo, you always know where it was taken, when it was taken, and who took it, which is important if you're going to have documentation. Now, I'm curious, who in here regularly, when they go out to estimate a job or when they send the repair guy out, who takes photos out in the field? Do you guys all take photos? Not everyone? Maybe everyone? Okay, I'm just going to assume everyone. Could someone tell me, has a photo ever saved your ass?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When? What happened?
Oh, there's lots of occasions.
Here, you're on the spot now, man. Here you go, quick story.
Well, the most common one would be decking issues, sticking your head through the crawl space and taking a picture of the attic space. And then insurance time, they don't want to pay for decking, there's documentation.
There you have it. It's that. It's getting the state of the pre-existing conditions correct, and then it's through the process of doing the job, knowing what you're dealing with. And so we really wanted to, on top of just organizing that information, is make it easy to get all of that information on a photo so that it's all in context. You don't have a photo, and then your notebook, and then the text that you sent to the sales manager, and you don't want that spread out everywhere. You want it accessible so that when someone, whether it's in the office or when you're out in the field driving around in your truck, you have access to that to know what's going on. And so this is White Castle's account. So if you guys want to start stealing jobs, just start taking pictures of this. There's addresses, it's all there. No problem, Jason. I'll give him a list of your jobs. But for example, this photo, I don't know what's going on out here, but Andrew Paulson's taking photos on what looks to be a cruddy old flat roof, and he's just making these notes like I think that's the dimensions of this drain. Let me back up here. But see, all these photos have this little comment thing on them. And so when you go out in the field to snap photos, and you can write all these notes that will stay connected to that photo, and then you have it. So later, when we go to write this bid, we're going to run through these photos. We're going to have everything in front of us. They're going to have notes on them. We've got a test cut here, all this stuff. You're just getting that information down. Now, you might say, I can do that on my own. I've got a Samsung Galaxy Note 14 that has 7 styluses, and I can get it all done, which you can. Any one person, this is not revolutionary for any one person, right? If you're an organized person, unlike me, you can snap photos, you can drop them into the right folder, You can find them on your computer. It's not rocket science. But when you have 5 people trying to do that, 10 people, 20 people, 50 people, that's when you end up with a problem. And, sorry, I didn't want to show Ben's iPhone unlock code to everyone. Now, I want to show you guys the mobile app to show you how simple it is out in the field to get this done. So, this is a job, click into this job, you've got all the photos. But if you want to take photos, you're gonna click bottom right, there's a giant red camera button. If you've ever used an Android phone, you've seen that before. Now you click that, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna show you the jobs that are nearby. So anything that your company's taken photos at, anything you've created, it's gonna be sitting there waiting for you. And we're using your GPS to make that simple so that you're not searching through all your jobs or trying to figure out where you're taking photos. Now, we are at the Liquid Sunshine tap room, or basically that's right next door. So I could just tap that and start taking photos. Now, if I wanted to create a new job, I can create that project, and then we're gonna do that kind of like Uber style. Now, we happen to be at a place where there is no building. But to create a new job is as simple as dragging this pin around the map to where the house is, which if I go to like this residential over here, this will make a lot more sense. 2 hands. So, you're standing in this neighborhood, you want to create this job, your hands are cold, you don't want to type in all this stuff on your phone. You just drag that over the property. It's going to pull the address right there. Let's get that right. This is what Josh was saying earlier. So 12922 Margot Street, create, you can name it if you want, then you just click take photos, and then you're ready to take photos. So you can see at the top of the camera screen there, it's going to tell you where you're at, so you know what job you're taking photos at. So I'll snap a photo here. Now, I capture that photo. There's a lot of things I can do to that photo. I can comment on that photo, like write a note like I was showing you guys. I can record a voice note. And this is something that's actually been really helpful for a lot of our sub crews and people like that, is they may not feel comfortable writing in English, but they feel much more comfortable speaking in English or Spanish. So you can, right on one of these photos, record a voice note, give it audio access. So, hey, this is a voice note. We're taking video at the GAF event. So I can save that and replay it, which you can't hear it on here. But point being, that will save under the photo and be connected to that photo. So when you're out on the roof taking photos, you don't have to be typing. You can just be recording what you're seeing, and that's all gonna save in here. Now, on top of that, you can do all sorts of editing stuff. You can, pop a little arrow out here and then drag it around, and I'll just say, this is Caleb. Now you know, right there. And then once that guy in the field saves that photo, that is going to upload and populate throughout your company in real time. So that photo is already synced. So if you were sitting back at the office, they're seeing that at the White Castle Roofing office right now in real time. Now, making the capture part easy, getting them organized, that's all crucial. Now that your company is taking all these photos that are organized, we want to help you put them to work for your business. So we want to help you take before and after photos of your work. We want to help you make simple photo reports that you can send the insurance adjuster or the customer. We want to give you a way to keep the customer updated with project photos if they're so inclined. And you could do all of that in CompanyCam. So the first one I want to show you is this before and after camera, because it's really cool, and it goes right back to what they were saying in the last presentation about taking before and after photos and getting those jobs on your website so people can see the work that you do. So to do that, I'm just going to go into the camera here. Actually, no. I'm going to click on this photo, and I'm going to decide that I want to take an after photo. So you can see what that's going to do is it's going to lay that photo over the camera. Sorry, guys, amateur hour. It's going to lay that photo over the camera screen so that you can see through it. And I'm just looking at the floor here, but I can see through it, or I can get the outline of it so that when I go back up to here, which that's a cluttered outline, usually it's a lot simpler. Let's get it. Got to find where you were. Help, close enough. So you snap that after photo. What's gonna happen is it's gonna lay it out for you. You're gonna be able to choose how you wanna visualize this. So it'll drop your logo in there, and then you can just pick, what do I want this to look like? And what I really, really recommend, I mean, obviously you can throw this on your website, you can put it on your Facebook. What you need to do is to send it to your customer and ask them to share it. It's really straightforward. You take this, you save it, that saves in your CompanyCam, giant green button, share. That's gonna pop this up, you can text it, email it, whatever, but your Facebook, your social media, that's gonna hit an audience, that's good, you need to do that. But what is much, much more important is that your customer says something about you to their audience, and which is just their friends. And if you can make that simple for them, if you can give them something that makes their property look good, that makes their job look good, and ask them to share it, they likely will. And we found that a lot of them do. And what that does for you, it's not like all their friends are gonna call you up tomorrow and say, hey, I need a roof, I'm ready to go. But when Sally sees that Jim posted on his Facebook that he's really happy with his new roof, 3 years later, she might need a roof, and she's not gonna remember who did Jim's roof or anything about it other than Jim got a roof and he was happy. That's it. So she's gonna send Jim a message. Maybe she'll text him or hit him up on Facebook and say, hey, who was that? Seems like you guys were happy with your new roof, and like our roof is leaking, we've got all these problems. Can you tell me who that was? And then Jim's gonna say, oh yeah, that was, Premier Roofing and Construction, and they did a great job. And then she's gonna call you up, and you're gonna get a job out of that. And all you had to do that over the course of time is snap a couple photos after you're done, send them to the customer, and just ask them to share them. If you do that, if you put it right in their hand and you ask, there's a 50-50 shot, maybe 60-40 that they're gonna do it, and that stuff pays off long term. It's not gonna get you a whole bunch of jobs tomorrow, but over the course of time, it will really, really help to have your customers talking about you in a positive way with their friends. So before and after photos, those are simple. I'm trying to think what else. Does anyone, I can get carried away just talking. Questions?
Integration into other programs?
Yes, that's a good point. So we know that you don't want all your photos just locked up in our system. You're gonna wanna use those in other things. So we integrate with Job Progress, who's right here, so that when you create a job in Job Progress, that will sync over to CompanyCam, and when you take photos in CompanyCam, all of that will sync right into Job Progress, be connected so that you can track that all the way through the process and use those photos, whether it's in emails, in your marketing, whatever, but they will link up perfectly. Now, we also integrate with Job Nimbus, Contractors Cloud, Zapier. We're finishing up a Salesforce integration. Am I leaving anyone out? Stephanie.
Ryan?
In some software outside of the industry, there's a solar software that we integrate with. But we want to connect CompanyCam to the other services that you use. So Job Progress, that's a done deal. There's some others. Has anyone in this room heard of Zapier? Zapier, the service? So I would highly recommend you guys check that out. It's really just a way to connect software that you use. So for example, with our integration with Zapier, you could set it up so that when a photo is taken in CompanyCam, that would automatically save that photo to your Google Drive or something. Or you could set it up so that when you take a photo in CompanyCam, if that gets tagged as an issue, that would immediately trigger an email to your quality assurance person so that they would know about it immediately. You could set it up so that when you create a job in CompanyCam, that would create a new folder in your Google Drive. And there's just a million little different things that you can do with Zapier to connect the services that you use. And there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do there with CompanyCam. Question?
Can you create, like if you were going to attach something like a takeoff to a bid and have a PDF form that says 50-foot of gutter here on building 2024 of the apartment complex, so it has a list of all repairs, so like on multifamily, you can help them create budgets?
Could you, so the question was, is it basically, can you connect a PDF up to this?
Yeah,
Or-
so you'd have, the 25 to 30 pictures that you took on site that you could make comments on the site and have something physical to send to the customer and say, these are the repairs that need to be made.
That's a great question. Yes. So I'm just going to click on one of these jobs here. So whatever this job is, Alexa. Now, his question was around essentially creating a report or a PDF that you could send out to the customer detailing what the issues are. And you can do that in CompanyCam. So what I could do is I could select, let's say I'll select a couple photos here. I'll just select, 5 or 6 photos. One thing I can do is I can create a photo report. And what that will do is that is going to lay the photos out on the left. It'll allow me to write notes and stuff on the right. And then I can send this out as a link or as a PDF to, be it the customer or an insurance adjuster. So I could just say this is a, roof report, and I can't really type with one hand. And then I might say, I don't even know what that is. I'll just say gutter issue. But long story short, I can write a whole bunch of notes in here on the photos that I added to this report. And then once I complete that, I can save it as a PDF and choose, whether I want 1 photo per page, 2 per page, whatever. And then it's going to generate this report and email it to me when it's finished. But since this is such a small report, it's going to load up here in a moment. What you're going to get out is this simple PDF. It's going to have your logo on it. It's going to have the title. And then they can just go down through here and they can see the photos along with any notes that you wrote. You can print it off, you can email it to them, whatever. It's just a clean, simple little photo report. And does that answer your question more or less?
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah. And so this is something we're spending a good chunk of this year updating these reports to be much, much better and more sophisticated. But for now, outputting these is way, way easier than trying to drop things into Microsoft Word and then do all your formatting. It's kind of a pain. Question?
This would be an awesome tool for property management, for multifamily HOAs. And if you have, I don't know, how many of you guys are doing repairs as part of your business? Imagine being able to document every step of the repair, what it looked like before, what it looked like when you were done. It helps validate why you're charging what you're charging. Homeowners don't know our terminology. What do they say? A picture is worth 1,000 words. It's a really great application.
I appreciate that. And I want to show you guys some of these. Like you said something about before and after photos on repairs. A lot of this is you're pushing accountability down your organization. And you're saying, okay, we are expecting you to go out and document your work, not give me the thumbs up or send me a text that it was good, but to document it, take a photo of it. And the problem that we talk to when we're signing up, we got a lot of roofing companies using CompanyCam, and just organization is hard. It's hard to get everything in the right place so that when you need to access it, when that customer calls, in CompanyCam, you can search and find anything in 2 seconds. But when you start using it, you realize that this real-time flow of information, which is getting photos from the field and seeing them, whether you're on the toilet. I mean, I see my dad who owns White Castle Roofing, go out to his house, to pick up my kids because they're constantly babysitting my kids. And he's sitting there on the couch on his phone, just kind of scrolling around. And most people, when you see them doing that, they're on Facebook or Instagram or I don't know. Just, you can basically tell what app they're using by how old they are. Stephanie here, she's using Snapchat, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of the oldest, Mark's probably still on, MySpace. But anyway, my dad is looking at CompanyCam and he's saying, did those guys finish that repair? Oh my God, they're putting the tie back behind the step flashing. What idiots. I need to call them right now and tell them to switch that. It's seeing what's going on so that we can solve problems as they're happening and not get a call from the homeowner a couple months later when they're having a leak. And that's really valuable. But we also want our guys, with these before and after photos, and most of the recent ones here are just junk that we've taken at trade shows, because who really wants to see before and after photos in January? I'm going to get down to some of the good ones. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we want our guys to be doing out in the field, which is taking, showing what it looked like before when it was really ugly, and then how it looks afterwards when it's all nice and finished. And it's just a really good way to push that accountability down so that you're knowing the quality of the work that's happening. Any other questions?
Is it just an Android app?
I'm sorry, no. So CompanyCam runs on iPhone, Android, tablets, and then through the web, just on your web browser. We recommend Chrome and Firefox. but it'll run on any of the latest Windows browsers also. So yeah, whatever device you have, unless you have a Windows phone, you don't have a Windows phone, do you? Okay, good. Then you're good. I have red shirt in the middle right there.
Is the upload resolution actual, or is it?
No, man, you guys are killing it with questions. So we compress the photos. Now, there are 3 resolution settings in CompanyCam. I don't believe that you need to be uploading a 4 megabyte photo every time you snap a photo because it's all happening real time. So the standard, if you don't change any of the settings, your photos are going to be between 200 and 400 kilobytes, and they're going to be about, I think it's 1280 by 720 resolution. That's just kind of the out-of-the-box standard. It's good enough to use on the web. It's good enough to see what you need to see, but it's not incredibly crisp. Now, we go all the way up to a 2880 by about 2000 pixels, which is close to the default kind of iPhone or Android resolution on one of the newer phones, but we still compress those photos so that they're average at the highest resolution. The average file size is between 500 kilobytes and a megabyte. Now, the file sizes, we're trying to shrink those so that you can take thousands of photos a month without going over your data limit. And we've actually never had a customer complain to us about using too much data. It's something that everyone worries about up front. It makes sense. You think, I'm taking all these photos, they're all streaming in real time. What you find out is that because we intelligently handle that file size, it's just not a concern. But if you do need a higher quality photo, you can take a default with your phone and upload it, or you can just use our high resolution setting, which will output a photo that's really, really detailed. So that was a great question. Someone else had there, yeah, right here.
Can you drag and drop existing photos into the platform? Or
Yes.
Take them on?
Yep, so like if I click over here on projects, I go to any given project, right? So this project, Elk Drive. I would just click add photos, and then I can drag photos in there. As simply as just dragging them over the top of that. Or if I click it, it'll just open my file system and let me select photos. Now, I can upload photos that I already have on my computer into CompanyCam, or I can do the same thing on my phone, which is just pick, like you're uploading photos to Facebook, same thing. You just select some photos and they upload right to a project. I should say, CompanyCam is unlimited photo storage for contractors. What we charge is $12 a month per user that you want to have out taking photos. What that gets you is unlimited photo storage in the cloud, unlimited projects, unlimited everything. It's just a per user. So if you got 5 guys, that'd be $60 a month to store as many photos as you've got and do everything here in CompanyCam. It's possible that at some point in the future our prices could change, but it will always be unlimited photo storage because I never want someone to worry about hitting a limit. I want people taking as many photos as they possibly can out in the field so that they're not running into problems. Does anyone in here other than White Castle use CompanyCam? Okay, who are you guys? Oh, is Jim up there? Hey, Jim. Sorry, I don't think I've ever met you in person. It's nice to meet you from the stage. And Jim, so our latest feature actually was inspired by Jim. It is the ability to share the project with the customer so that the customer can take photos on their phone and upload them, and they'll go directly into your CompanyCam project, and they can write some notes on the photos. And the thought was around, maybe you get a call for a repair or for something, and if you could have the customer snap a few photos so that before you even go out, you might be able to see, oh, those are GAF charcoal, the tree fell there, we're probably gonna need half a bundle, and boom, you go out, you do it all in one straight shot. We really wanted to make that sort of simple, so now you can, on any given project, add what we call a guest user, which will it'll shoot them a link where they can just open it up on their phone and they can take photos or add photos just through their phone without having to download the CompanyCam app, and that will all flow directly into your CompanyCam account. So thanks for that, Jim. That was a good idea. Your royalty checks will be probably lost in the mail. Any other questions, comments?
How can distribution partners use it?
They could just pay us a lot of money. If they could do that, that would, no. We have some big distributors that are using CompanyCam to document when they deliver material. Now, our big push over the next couple months here is to make the whole process more collaborative. so that, for example, a GC, a roofer, an electrician, and a plumber could all sort of share a project where all their photos go into one place together. You know who took which photos, you can comment, draw on each other's photos, so that it's everything's together and organized, but it's more than just your company's photos. You know, so we're working on this collaborative aspect, which I think could be really good for the distributor roofer relationship, to where the roofer can easily share photos with the distributor, vice versa, so that, you know, because let me tell you, if you go out and take photos of every driveway, you're going to be real good friends with ABC, Shelter, Allied. They're going to really like you if you save them a couple grand by taking a photo of that driveway that was already cracked. The guy is now, you know, arguing with his distributor about who's going to be paying for that cracked driveway. And we have some distributors that are using it, but our market is contractors, and we really want to help the contractor. And as much as the distributor can help the contractor, we want to do that relationship. But this is really, I mean, this was built for roofers. And I saw it, I feel like there was a question. Yeah, right in here.
When you're taking the pictures in the app, is it stored to your phone memory as well, or is it stored just in the app?
By default, it does not store it to your phone. So that was one of the problems that we wanted to address, which was I've got photos of my kid doing cartwheels and me taking selfies, you know, and then I've got this leaky valley, and just having all of your work photos mixed up with your personal photos. So the way that we do it out of the box is when you take a photo in CompanyCam, that once we've confirmed that it's saved in the cloud, then we eliminate that file out of your phone, so it's not taking up any space on your phone. It's not mixed up with your photos in your Let Photos app. It's only in CompanyCam, and it just keeps them separate. Your work photos are in CompanyCam, your personal photos are over there, and they don't interact with each other. Now, there's an option to automatically save all of the photos to your phone. So that's just one of the options, like in the settings, is you can make it so that everything saves on your phone in your sort of Photos app. But the default is that we're going to keep that separate for you. And follow up?
Yeah, my next question would be is if you, let's say we're on with your service for 6 months, we discontinue service, do we still have our login information and all that type of stuff?
We will ceremoniously burn your photos. No, so with CompanyCam, that's a good question. I mean, because, so for example, White Castle Roofing, they've got probably a good 250,000 photos stored in here. And we have a lot of customers that have a lot of photos with us. We're storing about 16 million photos right now. So what we do is it's a month to month. It's $12 a user month to month. There's no sign up fee. There's no cancellation fee. You don't have to call me and explain to me why you hate our app. You can just cancel it in 2 seconds and you're done. Now, the photos are yours. You can, I mean, we have customers that set up a script that just downloads their photos every day to like a server somewhere. You got to be slightly sophisticated to do something like that. With our Zapier integration, you can have them real-time sync to a Dropbox or a Google Drive folder so that you just always have this backup of them if you ever want to quit with us. Now, you can just download the photos for a project, save them in a folder, and they're yours. Like, they're your photos. So if you quit, you can just download them. Now, we don't have a magic button that downloads them all to your computer in organized folders because that's just kind of impossible. But you can download all your photos, and we would never like try to make that difficult for you. Our kind of MO is don't be jerks. And my thing is, my job is a lot easier if our customers like working with us. Like, that just makes my day go better, and that's the way I want it. And I don't care about making an extra $50 a month off of someone that wants to get out of this service and trying to make that more difficult for them. It's just not, it's just, to me, it's dumb business. So they're your photos. You can download them anytime you want. You can set up a way so that they're backed up so that if you want to cancel at any time, you can. And then when you cancel, they're done. Now, if you ever did want to come back, you could do that, and most of your photos would still be in there unless you went out of your way to delete them. But yeah, that's how that would work.